Hello, caring viewers, and welcome to Good People, Good Works. On today's program, we feature Paper to Pearls, a project in which over 125 women from internally displaced persons or IDP camps in northern Uganda make colorful necklaces and other jewelry out of recycled paper. The items are then sold to a thriving market in the USA and other developed countries. The buyers are both delighted by the beautiful necklaces and honored to support a worthy cause. Paper to Pearls was started by Ms. Barbara Mahler, a vegetarian and president of Voices for Global Change, a nonprofit organization based in Washington, D.C., USA, that seeks to uplift socially, economically, and politically disadvantaged people around the world through mentoring and training. In 2005, Ms. Mahler took her first trip to Uganda, where she visited 2 internally displaced persons camps created by the Ugandan government to address the instability in the region. Approximately 80% of the residents of northern Uganda have moved to these sites. Ms. Mahler was deeply touched by the difficult living conditions at the camps and by the fact that approximately 1.8 million people live at these sites.
The women that we met had lived in the camp, most of them, for about 10 years. And they lived, as anyone can imagine, a very marginalized life. There was not much for them to do. So they lived there with their families, their entire families, and all of their children. These camps ranged in size from just a few hundred people to up to 60,000. Some of the larger camps were like small cities. The people were totally dependent upon humanitarian aid organizations for their support, for their living opportunities. So the World Food Program, for example, Doctors Without Borders, many of those kinds of organizations were essential to keeping the people alive.
Joyce Laker, an energetic, proactive Ugandan woman, arranged for Barbara to come to see the camps. Through a grant from CARE International, a humanitarian non-governmental organization, Ms. Laker had provided a trainer to teach the residents the unique craft of creating beautiful accessories from colored paper so that they could sell their work in nearby villages. She wanted Ms. Mahler to meet some of the artisans, or beaters as they are called, and see their handicrafts. When Barbara saw the incredible jewelry, she envisioned a wonderful opportunity.
I honestly fell in love with the possibility of what could happen if I, or people like myself, could create a market for this women's work in the West, primarily, of course, in America. And honestly, I couldn't let go of that idea. I met the women, interacted with them, fell in love with who they were, their spirit, that despite all these years of deprivation, they still could sing, and they still had hope, and they still believed that something was possible. Thus, they were setting about making this lovely jewelry.
Upon her return to the U.S., Ms. Mahler pondered how she could help those she had met.
I had never done anything in microenterprise before. I had never sold anything retail. I knew nothing about any aspect of what was going to be required to begin and to manage a project of this size, but I simply couldn't let go of the idea that this could really make a difference. This could help lift these people and give them some source of hope. So the 1st of December of 2005, I said, okay, we're doing this. I don't know how it's going to go. We're going to make it up as we go along, but we're going to do it. And we officially launched what we called Paper to Pearls.
Voices for Global Change then formed a partnership with the women's organizations in the Opit and Gulu camps, and the Ugandan artisans immediately began producing their wonderful handcrafted jewelry. The beads for the necklaces are usually made from the pages of unused calendars. Each page is carefully scored and then cut into long strips. The paper strips are then rolled into beads, and each bead is secured with glue. The beads are next coated with a non-toxic resin for sheen and durability, hung up to dry, and made into necklaces. The necklaces' splendid colors come from the colors in the paper from which the beads are made.
Almost the first comment that anyone makes when they see our jewelry is, "I can't believe it's made of paper." And it's really true. It does not look like paper at all.
When we return, we will learn how the income generated from their handiwork has transformed the lives of these Ugandan artisan women. Please stay tuned to Supreme Master Television.